Yeah.
He was really fast last week at Poco, rolling right off. In 15th, 16th is going to be Jason Tamer.
I'd have it in fourth gear right now.
Therian, and 18th is going to be Ed Shearer Jr. 19th rolling off.
Yeah, I'm glitching already.
Who you mentioned had a win once before at Auto Club Speedway, and rolling off 20th going to be Cedric Hunter, who we just mentioned needs to get some out of those extra points.
After last week's poor performance by the 13th, kind of in a late wreck, needing a good run. 21st goes to James Kaufman. 22nd, we'll find ourselves with the 53 of Christopher Wade. Cody Reed in the 52 machine will be in 23rd with Brian Noel in 24th. James Heater in 25th.
All right, so
keep an eye on Nelson, what his strategy is. He's a real good strategist.
The 11 of
okay.
Forbes. Joshua
He's starting back P11, P12, right around there.
It's Cameron Sarton.
Brug, Colley, you, Campbell, and Crawford, the top five.
Expected here this evening, and Johnny Brugg, Brendan Colley going to be your front two, kind of in some very tough situations, being right at the cut line for points. They recognize every point matters, so qualifying matters.
Pace cars off. Good luck, sir. Let's roll.
These drivers are going to be able to handle it up front 100 laps. There's no competition. Yellow.
Green.
Fast repairs. They got 5 sets of tires in pit road. The fuel run, you could be right around 2 to 3 stops. We'll see how many times they want to hit pit road. But first, it's time to go green here tonight at Auto Club for the WSSR Roasted Gems Cup Series. And it's going to be a mad dash, side-by-side track racing down into turn number 1 for Colley and Brugg.
The mad track.
Good save.
Who's going to lead the first lap? He's still going to get turns
74 outside, clear behind him.
It looks like
it was loose.
Second, out of the corner with the lead.
Nobody going to the outside. Everybody's conserving right now.
Endeavor's so important. But right now, Brandon Colley.
Top two, about ready to touch doors.
He's going to take it down in turn 3.
All good.
To give out shades of last season, Benjamin Nelson got the pole last season here at Auto Club. Didn't even lead a lap. And right now, Johnny Brugg wants to lead a lap for himself. On the outside, a little bit of a shimmy, shake. They're going to be side by side coming across the line. And Johnny Brugg, just by a nose, will lead lap number 1. As the field starts to single file out, it's now time to protect those tires. But already, so many different lanes being utilized here. Just this is what we were expecting from Auto Club.
This is exactly what we're going to be so exciting to watch all night. Drivers all over the track. You already see the leaders choosing the outside.
24 backed up his corner, got a little bit of a run on you.
There's room.
He's on your left rear.
Drivers going to be able to make.
I'm trying to see how many laps I'll have saving.
Looks like the majority of the pack. It's in the middle of that corner. No one really running up high.
Yeah, that inside look, bro.
That's how you do it.
Very important for these drivers, because when you drive down low, protect those tires. That's the ultimate key. Drivers on the outside, they're maximizing their speed. They're using up their rubber, and they are tackling and attacking to go forward as quickly as possible. As drivers all trying to find where is that comfort zone. As we ran on board 63 of Bryson Dixon behind. Bryson again, the driver who automatically, right when he joined the WSSR, got himself.
I'm fuel saving it.
Okay.
To get back into victory lane again. It was on a good hot streak.
I'll let you work your magic. 28 down low.
It is all about points. It was at 33rd in points. It has only ran 3 races, but still has
clear low.
To make the top
38.3 with you now.
Have been showing up to get an opportunity for the 63 to still be a threat if he can make it to the playoffs.
He's going to be trying to do everything he can to become that threat. But he wants to get back to victory lane. But there's another driver.
3 inside.
And that was Brandon Colley, who was able to get up there and take the lead and actually lead that lap.
38.14 coming up inside.
Take it back. But Brandon Colley was able to lead that last lap. And right now, he's still holding strong on the inside.
Brandon Colley, one of the drivers that's been here since the very beginning, trying to get himself into victory lane, has only been in victory lane once, and that was last year at Darlington. And what a win it could be to show off, hey, this Gen 4 car really is in the hands.
67 coming up low. Left rear.
People in the chat.
We're going to have the run off with a little bit of draft.
Because when we do
clear low,
the bad luck strikes. The commentator's curse has been strong when we talk about probably a handful of drivers. But Colley, Brugg, both still side-by-side fighting.
67 inside.
The field trying to figure out how to slot themselves in. Currently, I've seen a lot of drivers falling back. The biggest mover so far is actually a driver all the way back in 16th position. That's
32. Zach Hall with you.
Spot.
Down low now.
Move forward. It's been
Nelson is going to be the next car in line.
Has been on the go button since lap 1.
He's kind of figured out right now. Maybe didn't have the qualifying speed, but he's got the race pace as we're going to complete lap 5 now, starting lap
Nelson underneath.
Moved up to 16.
Door all the way down.
Right here and watch what he's able to do. see if he's got this track figured out. Looks like he's preferring that middle groove for some of these drivers running down bottom. But Cody Reed,
One long conga line of cars going into 3 that time.
come down the straightaway. We will be talking about the draft here. Looks like there's a couple cars on that second line down there. And on this back straightaway, you do not want to be the only driver down there because sometimes you could get freight train with no draft help.
Yeah, when you have a driver in front of you, it's called having an anchor, utilizing the draft. That airflow allows you to get a little bit more of that speed, and drivers that decide to go for a pass, you have to get really good launch off the exterior corner. Carry more speed momentum, allow you to carry that momentum off straightaways. Otherwise, you're sticking in the draft, trying to stay as one, as these drivers still right on top of one another as they are tackling every position. Benjamin Nelson coming off of last week's third place finish.
52 underneath.
A driver that we know, any race we go to, a threat.
Still there. Door.
Especially at tracks, there's a lot of wear and tear in the tires, and tonight,
Left rear.
surface itself, almost like a cheese grater at times if you're not
Still there.
tires immediately. Curious on how many drivers in the next about 8 laps or so we're going to see them big swing. The drivers that were pushing too aggressively start to fall down.
Yeah, that is going to be something we're going to see really soon here. We're going to see who pushed too hard.
31 left rear.
In their pace, we know Benjamin Nelson probably be a driver that we think is going to be maintaining his pace based off what we've seen all year. So we'll be curious. He has not made too many moves yet, but he did just
Clear 31.
that call and moved up into 12th. But we're going to keep an eye on some of these drivers. We're going to be calling the words comer and goer. We will see who was able to come through the field and who is going to go back through the field backwards.
Well, as more drivers cycling forward.
31 outside.
Settling currently as watching the battle for 4th place.
Clear up.
Nick Crawford, they decide to be on top of one another, and Nick Crawford and Ollie Fonseca, drivers that we expect to be racing around one another on a Monday night. The ISRC Truck Series comes back this Monday. I know the drivers are very excited.
Leaders last lap 39.43. Yours 39.76, so 3/10. So if you're saving, you're not losing all that much. But it's going to be a lot of traffic to work through.
We also got word a pass change.
Depending on how the pits fall.
If you
19 behind you.
The season 1 champion, been a word, he's coming back for season 6. Going to be a good season to watch with all 5 past champions.
19 surging up high.
Track still waiting on word. We'll see track
Ain't got to pass him on track if I pass him in the pits.
This is true.
tonight in the WSSR.
That's why I said depending on how the pits fall.
Hey, this race is not over just yet, but all in the mindset of it's early. Let's take a lot of learning and knowledge, and I think some drivers starting just
That'd definitely be a new version of worst to first.
possible. One of those for Norris. These drivers are right in.
I'm doubting myself, but I'm already committed, so
Rips the top, trying to get by the 67.
Yeah, one driver I'm watching was Cody Reed. About a couple laps ago, he was right by Tyler Dengler, and now moving up about 3 cars, and he's actually trying to get him with Zach Hall. Maybe he's got something figured out here. Lap 11, just making moves, still coming forward.
Coming forward, and one of those drivers, like I said, it's advancing forward. Same with Tyler Dengler, Anthony Gaudio back at 17 and 18. Those are the biggest movers currently that have made their chances to take passes when they can.
19 right front.
Trying to go forward.
Clear up.
Cameron Sark, who's up a couple of positions for the 99, as a few others falling back. I think the biggest shocker in my mind has to be the 8 Brad McCann, but once again, taking it easy. We're seeing this 13 and the 7. That's Cedric Hunter, Douglas Newbegin. More qualifying attempts for both of them, but deciding to stay back, linger in the back, see how this race progresses. I think for some, knowing
29 charging up left side.
turning into a wreck fest, but also on the other foot, it's got a chance of staying green.
Yeah, it looks like it might be one of those races where it does stay green, but we can never.
18 who's wrapping the top side early. He's coming up and out.
We can't. He was a driver when I first got in here tonight in this session. I was immediately watching him. He looked like he had so much speed. And then all of a sudden, it just didn't carry over to qualifying. But like you said, this race is still early in the stages. You just maybe don't want to put yourself in a bad spot. As we see him right here, he's running up high. He's got the 18 right behind him for a little bit of drafting. Felt his strong side. Anthony Gaudio going into turn 1. But right now, just not making the moves yet. But this race is only on lap 13, so we have plenty of time.
Plenty of time, but this is some pretty close racing action. I mean, Justin,
You got the broadcasters wondering what you're doing.
it's a very tight squeeze. Swing of drivers' tires, kind of, if you were too aggressive, start falling back. Those protecting, start moving forward. This is going to be one of those awkward situations where maybe you don't know what your competition has, but you're right on top of one another.
Yeah, there's just no escaping. There's so many cars all over the place, and the hardest thing to do is sometimes save tires, and then you're getting passed by people. And then the worst is when you're trying to save tires and someone gets to your outside, and then you got to pinch that car down a little bit more to keep it off the wall and keep it off the driver on top of you, and you kind of start hurting your tires more just by trying to
19 right front.
Losing the spots. So it's one of those
Door.
where it's just really hard, and I always appreciate those guys that are just fast from qualifying and race pace. Those drivers are always so impressive that can just stay in the top 5 from beginning to end.
It always is impressive to watch.
Gonna pull the crossover, or try to anyway.
At this track, I can see.
Yep, that's your door. All the way down on the apron.
During that race,
Coming up.
The drivers were in the next gen Cup car in the Gen 7, not in this Gen 4, where we've seen Zach have some highs and extreme lows. And currently, just inside our top 15, kind of an odd position.
Still low.
For this 32.
Gonna have a good run off.
Qualifying's been
Clear inside.
For Zach Hall as he continues to try to make his march forward. We did see that cluster of drivers of Anthony Gaudio and others on top of each other battling for that 16th, 17th, 18th position. That's probably the most calamity-ridden spot that I'm watching right now of a pack of drivers as Heater gets into the outside wall for the 18, but able to continue with the momentum down into the corner. And we're starting to see other drivers start to move forward. John Forbes now into the mix, but right behind them is the 71, James, that of Edward Sherwood Jr. That 71 machine missed a race, really hurt him on the points side of things with missing one race. Right now, one of those drivers that's just outside looking in on making our top 16. I think he could be a threat if you find that real good finish of a top 15, but most likely look for a top 10 finish here tonight.
Run at 21st, and as you see on screen, if he's able just to get around 5 or 6 cars who are right in front of him, he could be in the top 15 really quick. It's just how do you get around these cars? You want to go, but you just, tires, like you mentioned, cheese grater. You just push so hard and they kind of just heat up, they wear out, and you can't really make the moves. You see Douglas Newbigging getting into the picture here too, and Cedric Hunter. So these are 2 drivers we're going to have to watch and see if they're going to start coming through this field now.
As they continue to have probably one of the best shows in the back half of the pack. Other drivers up front.
Halfway through a run, how's the right front feeling?
For 6th position. Nick Simba has been trying his best to stay in front of this group. Has moved up just 1 spot from where he qualified in 7th position. But having the competition of drivers that have shown.
I mean, it don't feel that bad, but you know, I'm coasting into the turn, so it feels bad.
Ryan Kelly, kind of Brandon P. Johnson.
Gotcha.
Really
I ain't got that engine brake.
in the corner. And it seems like drivers right now, Justin, we're starting to see that swing.
Anthony just
As
said I look fine.
Benjamin Nelson starting to phase back. We're seeing other competition start to move forward.
Yeah, we see a great battle here. Isaiah Sutherland and Benjamin Nelson swapping positions the last couple of laps. These 2 drivers are running up high right now, and I think that might be where some of the speed is here on this longer run. As you see Benjamin Nelson just coming out of that corner and ripping down the back straightaway here. But Ryan Kelly, we know he's fast. He's just got so many drivers in this loop that are fast that it's just hard to always get up there. We have Brian P. Johnson, who we know all year is pretty much leading the points.
Lap 20 this time.
This group, they're all kind of right there. But up front, Brandon Colley was a half a second behind. He's got it down to 3/10. So he might be one of those cars that has this long run speed. Johnny Brooks led most of this race, but so far Brandon Colley staying right with him.
Brad Golly continue to stay up front with Ken Campbell in 3rd. 4th, still Ollie Fonseca in 5th. No Nick Crawford. Everyone else trying to catch up to those top 5 drivers currently.
Got about 5 or 6 cars starting to work their way back to you.
At this time, but to say that though, the 3 bounces to the inner groove. But as we're riding on board with Ryan Kelly, Auto Club
18 looking low.
Track here, Justin. The corners feel like they're never ending at times. One of those tricky tracks where having that throttle control always seems to be one of my trickier spots when I'm trying to race this racetrack. What do you think the drivers are searching for out there on course as we hop on board with the 3 to take a lap around with Ryan Kelly?
Yeah, you're searching, just like you mentioned, the corners are so long, you're searching to try and get back into
Clear up
without spinning these tires, and you can go into the corner running a high line and you get all that momentum coming out, but it's big circle up top in that track that you feel like you're going around the corner so much longer than when you take the bottom. But trying to hold that car on the bottom on this rough, worn-out surface, but not so, it has a little bit of banking, but not a ton of banking. So you kind of just are really hoping that you can get back to the throttle without killing the rear tires. But we're starting to see Benjamin Nelson really make up some time. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that he was back in 13th and 12th, and now he's running up into the 7th position. So he's really got something figured out, and it seems like he's kind of working in that outside lane.
Nelson's up in P7.
Yeah, for the outside wall continues to stay up there. The risk is if you have one little bit of a slip up, get on the throttle too soon, a vehicle in the wall can make contact very quickly if you're not careful. But the advantage of the backstretch and the straightaways,
He's in that second groove off the wall through 3 and 4.
because we see from the aerial view, seeing that 79 of Benjamin Nelson on the outside, that red 63 is where we see Bryson Hicks and Bob. It's the driver's battle for 6.
1 and 2, he's up high also.
The massive run that we're seeing for the 79 every time.
Still in that second groove off the wall.
It's closer and closer to being fully sideways, and it just seems like Benjamin Nelson way more greedy on the entry on how much he's willing to, go out and not have to slow down, and then also be rewarded with that risk off the exit of the corner.
Yeah, and one of the things we definitely talked about earlier was he wasn't making moves in the first 10, 12 laps. He really was just making, keeping.
I think I got to run low on the low side just for fuel.
But not also making the moves, trying to take care of those tires. Right now, this is what he's doing. He's using all those tires up now, here, halfway through the run. But he's just got, it looks like so much more power. He's able to run that outside, and you're probably sitting here thinking, why doesn't everyone run that outside? But it's just not as easy. If you make one little mistake, you could be up in that wall and you get some damage and get the fenders flared out, or the car gets stuck into the wall like we saw last week in Pocono, can lead to some disasters.
It certainly can lead to disasters, but some drivers have been waiting for this exact moment to pressure forward, and that's for the battle for the lead. Brandon Colley made the pass off the exit of turn 2, but firing right on back. It's Johnny Brugg first from second place, back to the inside, not allowing the one to have the run, but the crossover move. Colley's going to have the speed as they continue to stay side by side, and the field is starting to get to that question mark window. Justin, we were given his pit cycle, the fuel window that we were given, around 31 to 33 laps for these drivers on when they were expected to hit pit road. It's going to be very close if drivers want to race out to a 2-stop. Some drivers think a 3-stop.
No caution so far. Oh, there it is.
Oh no! Contact! Holly!
Oh man!
The field and the yellow flag strikes.
Coming to a full stop or not?
You had that too. Working lap 24 with 10, almost 11 laps left in the tank.
That looked like some heavy damage.
Yeah, he's looking good.
Doesn't show it there necessarily.
Are you on my in-car settings?
All good, Tyler.
I can be.
Drivers were trying.
No, it didn't call the caution. I was wondering.
Oh, my bad.
Drivers
Like the spotter.
I don't know
the
what
exit.
that's about. Might need
It's
to
all
go look
good.
at that one.
Two different ways that they wanted to tackle there, and
I'll watch it right
just
now when I go
pinched
to pit.
into one another.
I'm
And
wrong,
then
I'll
Johnny
say it,
Brugg,
but-
who's trying to keep himself off the one, but bounces off the wall, and that momentum so hard to stay off the driver.
That sucks. That changes everything.
Colley gets caught up in a mess, and this is something.
Yeah.
This leagues with Colley is when he's fighting for the lead.
All right, you're all set for fuel and tires.
Things go awry quickly for the one, and Johnny Brugg and the one machine both going to be dealing with damage. The races aren't
Ben, did you
completely
pitting
over,
like
but
10
Brugg
laps
gets
ago
the
with
worst of it.
your
Require
strategy?
damage for the
Just
20
yellow to
machine.
come
He's
out?
going to have to come into pit road, and Colley sent to the back after bringing out the yellow.
Yeah, that's two drivers that were right there on that bubble in the points, and that's not what they want to see. I mean, this race is 25% through. They still got 75% of distance left, but getting all that damage fixed would be the most important thing right now for both of them, utilizing these cautions. And hopefully they can get these cars fixed somewhat to get to salvage a decent finish. But right now, Ollie Fonseca is going to be our leader coming into the pits.
Into pit road's the 24, and everyone's going to enter pit road. I'd be surprised if anyone decides to stay out. The goal
Taking two worth
at
it.
this point now is completely swung open to this race is now no longer just a potential.
I didn't change anything. I didn't do anything. 2 tires.
Now,
we're good.
2 more times after this, and you make your way into victory lane for somebody out there, and
You talking about somebody else?
certainly does.
I was thinking about taking two and probably could have. 97, 95 on the left.
That aggressive driving up front, that's what we love to see. Auto Club has so much space, but the exit of the corner, that's where all the spacing kind of disappears, and it turns into a 2 to a 1-lane surface at the end of the day. And seeing our leaders collected into that mess as Some drivers go with fantastic.
With how coarse this track is, I don't think 2 would be good.
There's a couple of positions there with a great launch and pit stop at the 79.
We talked to the 79 last week, and he brought up his pit stops at Pocono. He was not the happiest with them. He must have done his homework all week because he nailed it right there, coming out with the lead. That's so important. Now he's going to be able to get that bonus point regardless of what happens here on the next restart. He's going to get the point under caution, which is going to be really important for him. Always good to have those extra points. Now Ken Campbell's going to be lining up second. It looks like Ollie Fonseca going to drop to third on that pit stall.
Kind of weird.
Going to try their best here on this go, and as we're under a caution break, it gives us time to say thank you to the amazing sponsors that help here tonight. I know Brandon Colley's mom's not happy in the chat.
Brandon, I watched it.
The way that incident went, but we still got to say thank you for at least being the qualified sponsor for the WSSR the last couple of seasons. He had a great qualifying, great beginning run. It's now the story of what mental fortitude does Colley have to go for a run here tonight for a top 10 finish, if possible. But you never know, things might change up, might go for a win if the cards line up properly. But also, we have to say thank you to Roasted Gems Coffee, being the title sponsor of the WSSR Cup Series for the last couple of seasons. It's been a pleasure to have them on board. And if you're looking for a great coffee with plenty of different variety and coffee blends, go on over to roastedgems.com and remember to use the promo code WSSR for 5% off. Elevate your coffee experience with Roasted Gems Coffee. And as well, huge thank you to Trophy Smack.
I guess from here I'm just racing.
The primary trophy for a couple of seasons here at the WSSR. With rings that were custom.
I'm just looking, going back on lap 28.
We saw the beginning of our stream.
I think everybody
the season 7
would be able to save 2 laps over 2 full runs.
Season 8 trophy. And if you'd like to go find yourself with a championship trophy, belt, ring, or more, go on over to trophysmack.com and use the promo code WSSRSmack for 10% off. Thank you to all of our amazing sponsors that help out for the WSSR throughout the season. As the field stacked up 2x2, it's Benjamin Nelson, Ken Campbell, Ollie Fonseca, Nick Crawford, Ryan Kelly, and Bryce.
Ben Nelson's leading. Stand by.
But here we
ready.
It's going to be a good one. Here, let's restart.
Oh, it is going to be a good one. Before the restart, really quick, I just want to know, in the beginning, it looked like Douglas Newbigin got an EOL penalty. Still trying to do some research on that, but just wanted to bring the viewers on. But we are going to get back to the restart here. Benjamin Nelson going to fire off fast. Ollie Fonseca down on the inside line, going to look to try and get around Ken Campbell there as we're taking to turn 1.
Trying to take down in turn number 1, and Benjamin Nelson. Very quick restart.
All right, Brian, take no prisoners. Just watch the right front.
As possible. Ken Campbell, though, under fire from Ollie Fonseca. And Ollie was the lead driver coming into pit road, lost 2 positions, and will just slot back into that 3rd place spot. But for how long? Nick Crawford's there. The pressure, the battling, and everyone knows get up front. That
clear low.
So crucial to have. Don't want to burn up too much of your rubber trying to get up there. Nelson off the exit of turn number 4. It's going to be the 79 leading this lap, but he's got a wall of drivers behind him that are trying to catch up that 79 machine.
All the drivers first through test up under 1 second. 10th place being Kyle Heath. We know had a great speed last week. We're looking to see him get up to this field. But right now, Ollie Fonseca underneath Ken Campbell. Not going to be able to clear him, though, coming out of the corner. This is what you're going to see. You're going to see that outside line and that 3 car right behind the 15. He's going to go to the inside elevator, drop it down low. Is he going to be able to get by all these cars? It looks like he's going to try.
Clear low.
Get a 2 for 1 in this corner.
Trying to go for the slide job move and want to run off the exit of turn 2. Will get by Ollie Fonseca, not able to find the momentum by the 15 of Ken Campbell. Campbell keeps his foot in the throttle, but they're still 2 wide, almost 3 wide behind this crew as tight squeeze. I see Sutherland tries to bounce into that 3rd row, not able to find that momentum. Centrist poke the nose in the middle, and all these drivers.
Leader ran a 39.1, you ran a 38.85.
But you also have to think that all these drivers have their own mentalities of how they want to tackle these entries into the corners, and that's where we can see disaster with all these quick dashing moves that we're seeing here early on.
Yes, that's what this racetrack provides. Is people on these restarts, cars are going to get aggressive. Some guys aren't going to care about saving those tires. They might be on a different strategy now, getting that caution. They might be looking to short pit the rest of the way here. Use up all those tires for the first 20 laps, go in, pit, another 20, pit, do the final 20. People are going to be on all different strategies here, so you're going to see guys probably coming and going a lot more than we did in that first run. right now these guys are still racing side by side. This is just an incredible battle. These drivers are so tight racing here. As you see right here, 73
3 wide, double wide, one outside.
Trying to get going in here.
Oh, trouble ahead of him though. Ryan Kelly, huge slide, keeps it in front of him. What a save by Kelly. That was a massive potential wreck.
31 still outside.
Kelly gets bumped by Ollie Fonseca in the 3. Went from
Clear up.
for 3rd. Now all the way down to 16th position.
52 outside.
Really bad. That was a huge slide in the corner. We saw him be really aggressive on that first lap, and I've got to restart, and just maybe just got a little loose there. You get back in that gas, and the tires just don't want to take it, and they start sliding, and now they're heated up. So it's going to be a problem for him to get back to this crowd.
He's got to be careful, cool it down. He's around, some other competitors that know how to get through the field as well. Shane Terry and Anthony Gotti.
31 still on the right rear.
It's a pretty good company that know how to break into the top 10 and get inside that top 5 at the end of the race. But some drivers still trying to utilize the draft as Nick Crawford, Isaiah Sutherland, put a bit of back and forth for themselves.
Ooh, that was tight.
14, trying to hold back the field, but also figuring out how they can move forward. 5th on the back, and he certainly is squeezed for some. But our biggest mover, Cody Reed, up to 8th place.
3 wide.
He's been trying to move forward inside our top 10. Not a bad spot to be for Cody Reed. And as well,
Still 3.
we saw him disappear in that first run to 8th.
32 in the middle now, 31 up high.
It's time to be aggressive early on.
Time to go now as we see Cal Heath get up in the wall. We saw a little spark.
32 only.
A little kiss on the side. I think the lap before that Bryce Dixon also did the same thing. Not really too much damage at all, so I don't
31 right rear.
worry about, but you don't want to do it too many times.
Bottom side sucks.
52 right now, he's stuck on the bottom. Isaiah Sutherland.
Yeah.
Any room, they almost made contact there coming out of the corner, but Cody Reed's got something figured out maybe. He's just been moving up through this field.
I think Cody Reed might be banging up.
18 coming up outside now, right rear.
Boost the tires now, get up front. That a caution's going to keep you in that lead, net gain position. And not worry about falling backwards, but you have to be careful. Isaiah Sutherland and Cody Reed both not giving each other a lot of room. So if there's a mistake, really could get caught up in a...
The second group is actually a pretty good line.
Christopher Norris, and now going to be seen 4 drivers.
And you got some draft help.
Line. And just once again, we enter turn 1, and everyone's searching for that speed and where the gap in the the grip is. But currently, it's Sutherland keep the nose ahead over Cody Reed, and it seems to be some frustration mounting up behind him.
Yeah, there's
18 outside, 29 with you.
You can't really even risk out trying to save tires right now because there's so many cars there. If you take it easy through one corner, you might lose 2 or 3 spots, and that might be even harder to get back later on in this run. And remember, 35 laps through this race, so drivers are going to be having to change up their strategy. But right now, these guys just nowhere to go. They're
Hold on, Brian. Good job.
Still there.
right here,
29 right rear, 3 behind you. I saw you.
all the way up against the wall almost for that.
Hold your line.
All 5, 4 lane.
3 wide, you're in the middle.
A lot of wiggling though. Anthony Gadio almost getting to the gate.
Clear up.
8 of Brian McCann with the biggest slide, and right back to fighting Brian Kelly, who was up battling for 3rd at one moment, fell all the way back to 16th, and is finally in a position where he can go into attack mode.
All right, bud, you got your pick of the line now.
Redemption run to get back up front.
He wants those spots back. He's probably right now thinking, oh, if I could have just been up in 3rd and not made that mistake, I'd probably be battling for the lead here, but don't count him out yet. We're not even halfway in this race. He still has a chance to get up there, but Ollie Fonseca is the guy who now moved into
Clear inside.
to get that lead back that he lost underneath his nose.
Also, Brian P. Johnson, past winner here on the club in season 3. That's 55. He comes out back victory again this season, and again by Ken Campbell. It's Brian P. Johnson also has been very good at these wear and tear tracks and trying to get himself up the run. Battling at Michigan, we saw
Leaders last lap 39.9, yours 39.7.
2 weeks ago, and now battling for the lead. Benjamin Nelson really in a position of defensive driving, but for how long? Ollie Fonseca in the 24 really putting a lot of pressure on the rear end, almost giving a tap to the 79 on the entry turn 1.
You can see all the cars behind him. They're just all starting to get closer. Isaiah Sutherland moving up to 6. He's found some great speed. And him and Zach Hall, 6th, 7th, and actually 8th. Bryson Hicksonbaugh, they're all starting to march to this field. But Ollie Fonseca is actually going to get to the lead here. He's going to get another lap led, which is going to be huge. Benjamin Nelson going to fight back on the inside. It's going to be so close here at the line.
To the line, Ollie Fonseca will lead that lap, but looking behind them, there's other drivers that are in contention. And again, our top 5, all within a second of one another. I can make it our top 7. Zach Paul and Isaiah Sutherland slowly inching closer and closer, and with the battling side by side for the lead, it's just allowing this pack to close back in as we've been 13 laps in this stint currently. Thanks so much to everyone who's been joining with us here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting on your Wednesday night, giving you the coverage of the WSSR Roasted Gems Cup Series. If you're just joining us, in one caution flag come out after contact between the 2 leaders of Johnny Brugg and Brandon Conley. Conley's been able to recover up to 21st position. Brugg has not been able to recover. He's currently 3
Mid-pack's coming back to you.
to the pits. But up front, Ollie Fonseca, Benjamin Nelson putting on a show for who's going to be the leader. And everyone else behind them, well, they've been giving us a show just as well as Justin. I got to say, this race, I think, doing everything that we thought it was going to be. Excitement, and everyone's still on top of one another.
This is such a fun race to watch. If you're a racing fan, you can't ask for anything more. We've been having a lot of these races lately, though. In this league, they've been putting us such great shows, different leaders, different winners. We never know who's going to walk away with these things. But we see a couple drivers get into the wall and get it look like Bryson Higginbotham maybe the second time he got up there into that wall. So that's something we need to keep an eye on. Don't need any damage out of him if he wants to get into that top 25. But right now, up front, Benjamin Nelson was able to get back around Ollie Fonseca. Those guys have been swapping the lead, just putting on a great show. There's battles everywhere. The 14 and the 52 is so close coming out of the corner. Oh, these battles are everywhere.
Yeah, and Isaiah Sutherland over the radio, not very happy with the way that he's being raced by Cody Reed, and Reed not giving any space. And because they've been fighting back and forth so aggressively, it's where Bryson Higginbotham gets an opportunity to dive it down low, and they continue to stay 3 wide. And Bryson gets the spacing, the 14 not as much. Cody Reed continues to keep the pressure up and trying to hold back Kyle Heath.
67 inside, 2 rows down.
Almost need to get on.
Now on in your inside.
If we have a chance, because these 2 are putting on a show in front, and there might be some action out of these drivers. There, like you said, there's some common talking going over the radio, but they're right on top of each other in each corner, just not giving each driver any spaces. Right now, we see what Kyle Heath's about to do with these 2.
They have it down low, down in turn number 3. It's 31 of Kyle Heath. Heath's been having a much better run the last couple of weeks, showing signs of a top 10 race as Isaiah Sutherland gets close to that outside wall. Gives a chance for Cody Reed to mix his way forward, trying to get it fully clear before we get down low into turn number 1. But Kyle Heath's nose is just too close. Cody Reed has to back off of that run.
They're wrecking ahead. Go low, go low, go low, go low.
It's just finding.
All right, go. You're good. Caution's out. Good job.
Currently trying to do another great run here tonight, but in front of him, trouble. And oh no, it's Benjamin Nelson who gets clobbered by that of James Heater.
Is that another
And issue strike for last season's champion. Oh no, battling for the lead, and it all went wrong.
Wow, that's the second time tonight we've seen a battle for the lead turn into an accident. That is going to be not what he wants to see at all. I can't wait to see this replay to see exactly what happened, but it's just one of those products of...
That's right in the middle of our pit, too, so now everybody's still on the same strategy. I was going to go off strategy there.
Here is the battle for the lead. Exit the corner, gets into the outside.
I was going to pit in about 5 laps.
Pete Johnson, but watch this contact.
Well,
going slightly airborne.
you mentioned 2 tires before. If you want to try that,
Both Benjamin Nelson.
since it's in the middle of a run,
As they
I guess it's kind of up to you.
I think for Heater on where that wreck was, he was following right behind 67 of Larry Yingling. Yingling dove down, and Heater just saw a vehicle in front of him. Disaster strikes for both as we go on board. James Heater get his sense of this wreck as he was just sitting in his cockpit.
Yeah, why not?
Driving along, and off the exit of turn 2.
I don't think I would, though.
Predict that you're going to be
What's
seeing
that?
this type of a wreck in front
Track
of
is
you.
just too coarse.
They were exiting out.
But you get awesome wear on your tires, so.
There's the vehicle and slamming in the center of the match.
Nobody else did it last time, so
I mean, you saw it right there. You could never see that accident. There was cars in front of him, and unfortunately, they all dart to the left, and he was the last person not to be able to see it. Oh no, just so much damage for both of those guys. Their nights are definitely going to be done. They're going to be multiple.
I'm going to do it.
There's just nowhere to go. You see the car just disintegrate. Wow, he's not going to be able to fix that like Brandon Colley was able to fix his car and get back up there. But
I'll be the first to do it. Let's do it. Let's try it.
Lengthy stop in pit road.
What's crazy, I'm not surprised by this. James Heater's engine looked like it was kaput, over and done, so the 18's race could be over and dusted. For Benjamin Nelson, on the other hand, he's got his required damage done. Now he's working on that optional, which there's a lot of optional for the 79 as the field gets back out from the pit.
97 on the left. That's only 3%.
This is around that zone where we're expecting one more stop after this if the timing lines up for these drivers. But it's going to be Ken Campbell
Gotta try something.
Nick Crawford gonna be up front. Ollie Fonseca though not gonna be inside of our top 5. He actually falls all the way down to 7th for the 24. So drivers figuring out there is trouble on trying to get out of the pit road. This driver's been losing actually a lot of position.
8 side, or the right side were 89s.
Fans of Ollie are hoping that he can figure that out because he has tremendous race speed, but the pit stops are hurting him right now. That's twice that he's lost spots, counted about 8 total positions on the past 2 pit stops. Not what he wants to see, but we know he has the race speed. He's going to get back up there, I think. He has a chance to win this race. He just needs to be able to hit his pit stops, no problem, and get the car in and out and not lose any spots.
What, you think 2 was a bad idea? Is that what you're saying?
Finish.
All right, man,
I think he's got a really good chance as well. Ken Campbell again going to be your
If you plan to continue trying to ripping on the outside,
to be shown across the line. He's gonna like to go
possibly. We'll see though.
Sign that we've got 1 to go as they were just given to the drivers. They'll stack up and get
we're good.
which gives us time for another shot.
You're good. I'm not good. You're good.
Thank you so much to our qualifying sponsor, being Colley's mom, and as well.
I just hate it riding around in 16th and not really being able to do anything.
Oh no, I get it.
Coffee.
You got to try something different, just like last week when you short pitted.
For you to try out today, and if you'd like to try out some of their amazing,
Another caution comes out in 5-10 laps or whatever. I'm still top 10. I gained, so hopefully that's our best case scenario.
WSSR for 5% off. Thank you so much to Rosa.
As long as you're not part of the caution. Both cautions tonight have been from the front.
And thank you to Trophy Smack. Trophy Smack, if you're looking to be
not jinxing you. Gonna knock.
Victory or losses, go on over to Trophy Smack. They've got themselves already pre-made championship belts, trophies, rings, and more, but they also have customizable pieces. Such as their trophies, they've got customizable pieces, championship belts, rings. The rings and championships have been here at the WSSR for the past couple of champions. But as well, they have customizable items such as the wall smack.
All right, buddy.
Plate that you can stick on the wall with their wall safe magnet mounted system, or you can get by the stand and place it on your desk or wherever you would like. Wall smack.
Ready.
Get yours now. Custom
Go.
at trophysmack.com using the promo code.
Good job.
SR Smack for 10% off. Well, the field's stacked up.
Might be a little loose right here, though.
And here we go. Ken Campbell and others.
Might be.
On the loud pedal as they roar down into turn number 1. Already seeing drivers trying to go 3 wide, something about 4 wide down into turn number 1.
You're good. Let it eat.
Fresh forever.
24 with you. 14 outside.
Campbell, though, he wants the lead. He's going to
3 wide.
Johnson's going to be right on him. Christopher Norris. They're not going to let him go. We have a spin. Cody Reed in the back. He's able to save it. Not sure if he's going to keep it up.
14 low. Clear up.
He's able to keep it off the wall. Looks like we're going to stay green single.
3 car coming up.
Cody Reed, driver, but so much speed. Unfortunately now that I hope to
Back out of that. It's big time. I'm going to be back in 16th in no time.
Yeah.
If you get on the throttle too soon, the rear end kicks out.
I hope not.
Reed before the lead.
The tires feel all right. I'm just getting screwed on track position.
Low for the lead position, not able to
Gotcha. All right, 67 outside. He's going to have a big run. You are clear up.
Sliding in front.
I got to get that outside.
All right, bud, you got your choice of lane again.
And a little bit of contact. Here comes Zach Hall for the lead.
That battle, that move right there, Christopher Norris, a slide job in front of Ken Campbell. Kind of.
Yeah, tires feel fine.
Isaiah Sutherland going to look to the inside. He's going to try and make the same move. Get up to third.
Go high, go high. There you go.
Caution. He's going to have to slide up. Oh, gets right underneath him almost. Gives him space. Brian Johnson able to get in front of him. Oh no, these drivers are everywhere.
That 14 was a weapon right there.
Kelly and others piling in late, but those are the primary two that go into the grass of Ollie Fonseca and Ryan Kelly. And they were getting Justin. Holy smokes.
I'm glad you fell back. The car that caused that wreck was right where you were.
Every single week. Have a race to go, and every position was so crucial. But it all came down to a crushing halt for the 24 and the 3 machine. As we've seen, as it's Sutherland, Zach Hall, they were starting to squeeze up, move up on the track. And that squeezing motion got some drivers on top of one another. A slight clip from the 3 into the 24. And it's only those two that find the big issue and bring out the yellow.
And the most important thing,
50 laps to go this time.
the only ones that are going to have any damage to the rest of the field able to escape that incident. But we're seeing the aggression just really pick up all of a sudden. Drivers are making not dive bombs, but they're really driving into the corner aggressive and then sliding up in front of the cars and hoping that those cars are going to then check up. And if those guys don't, they kind of just all stack the field up. And we're starting to see that a lot now.
We certainly are, as we see added turn number 4 here, and you just see everyone squeeze, and this is the talking point.
11. We get to start on the outside. Yay!
In front of you, you easily can get them loose sideways, and they're going to be sideways spinning, wrecking. And at the time of the yellow, you saw they were side by side for the lead. Christopher Norris will actually have the lead position at the time of the yellow. So congratulations to 38 for getting up front as we hit the halfway zone. And ooh, Justin, I think these drivers, yes, I get it. We're at the halfway. They're always going to ramp up, get a little bit more aggressive, wanting to take every position possible, and the amount of give kind of drifts away. But I think they need to calm down, and maybe we need to calm down as well. So we're going to take our first commercial break of the evening. Thank you so much for joining with us here. Here's top 5 as they're about to be thinking about maybe some for pit road. Others staying out. Christopher Norris, Ken Gable, Ryan E. Johnson, Zach Hall, and Isaiah Sutherland. Your top 5 currently. You're watching the WSSR Road to Jets Cup Series on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome back here with me.
Nah, I'll be up there in no time. I have to race Isaiah like really aggressively some more.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying for the last 8 weeks or 10 weeks. I'll be up there in no time. I've never finished above 14. I suck.
Taking top.
Hey, that's my line.
All right, man, we're going green next time. Bye.
Out inside.
All right, man, line up on the inside row.
Oh, 11. I can't number.
One, two, skip a few, 99, 100.
Hey, this is Benjamin Nelson, your Season 7 WSSR Cup champion. I'd like to give a thanks to Roasted Jim's Coffee, Trophy Smack, all the admins at
That says, hey.
Snowy Desert Racing, everybody that tunes in to the Freaky Fast broadcast every
You hear that, Pete?
No, what?
Co-workers.
Ed says, hey.
And
Hey.
I am so honored to be able
He said, hey,
to
back.
host this beautiful trophy. I've never been more proud to be a champion.
I guess he knows you're my spotter now.
That's it. I'm
I
official.
would like to say I think it's a little funny, the person complaining about me driving aggressively caused that wreck, but, you know. Beep! And he races like that every single week with everyone all the time, so I don't know why he's complaining. RVs!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Wednesday night coverage of the WSSR Roasted Gems Cup Series on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My name is Sam Dyer. With me up in the booth is Justin Malarkey and Robert Boyer Jr. Ready for
All right, buddy. Pace cars off.
another quick yellow come out. The aggression level has ramped.
Ready.
We just hit the halfway mark.
Go.
And I think the field knows it is wide open. Anyone's got a chance. Benjamin Nelson officially out of this race. Johnny Brugg, our pole sitter, officially out of this race. And now Christopher Norris leads the way as we're back to green flag action.
He missed a gear.
As well as Zach Hall, Ken Campbell, your front three.
Yeah, or something.
Turn number 1.
You're clear middle.
The question's got to be, do they ramp up the
31 outside.
chaos?
71 with you. Clear up, clear up, clear up.
That last young.
I think they're going to keep getting more exciting on these restarts as they come. It seems like no matter who's in the lead, though, ends up in a problem. Last 2 cautions, they're taking the leaders out, and then the previous caution, losing a couple guys in 3rd and 4th. Not what we want to see for our leaders, but Christopher Norris and Zach Hall, they don't care right now. They want to take 1st and 2nd. They're ruling the battle. They're going to try and get side by side as this race goes on. They're going to want to do what they can to get to the lead.
3 drivers up front, all on different teams, but
3 inside.
we're actually teammates.
Gonna have a great runoff. 71's with you.
Racing series. Now they're on all 3 separate teams.
3 door.
Racing Zach Hall.
Caution out.
Carolina Reapers team.
Oh boy.
Campbell all on his own with his own team, trying to get themselves up front, survive, but they're wrecking behind.
P12 now. You will be on the outside.
For drivers. And one involved, we talked about him, Cedric Hunter could not afford a bad night in the 3rd.
Track position or tires?
Destroyed. His night is over.
I'd say tires. You're in the middle of the field.
As you see right now, the Cedric Hunters are smoking too.
If it goes green from here, I'll be sitting pretty because we'll have to pit again.
I thought I was going to join here. Camera
There were
Yeah.
flying through my
that
mirror
looked like to be
faster
happening.
than I
That's
could
that 90
realize.
I would absolutely say 4 tires.
Felt the loose sensation.
I'll set it up for you.
Back up into the field, you see it there. Breaks loose, overcorrects back into the field, and a huge contact in front of the 9. But this is where Cedric Hunter's night comes to an end. Quickly goes down, slams into an iRacing glitch spot, lands on all 4. But that is one of those spots on a racetrack that sometimes if your car hits the right corner,
All right, sir. You're set.
done immediately.
I'm doubting myself though. Should we?
Regardless, the amount of speed he was carrying into that.
Looks like some people might go in.
Oh, okay, Tyler, you're
Everybody's been out on lap since lap 44. It's been 10 laps.
And there it is.
kind of
Boom,
like
the tire barrier
you
got him.
might be okay.
Yeah, there you go.
No tire barrier.
How many fake? How many go?
Especially in racing, it is one of the more vicious walls to hit because of the way that
John, I swear to God, I would have punched you straight in the face if he came up anymore.
tires.
I just want to be off strategy.
Doesn't let it go.
That's what my final decision was.
You've got 4 or 5 more behind you that came with you.
That one is
Is
on me.
the death corner. Does a flip. I mean, impressive that he lands on all 4, but it was for nothing after the fact because he drives away, then the engine expires.
You can see the tire wobbling. We've talked about this before, Sam. We know that this is a simulator, but those accidents,
There you go.
I'm not saying you're going to get hurt, but sometimes those steering wheels really whip on you. Some of these people run so much force feedback, those steering wheels kind of just rip out of your hand, and it does not a fun feeling when that happens.
No, especially for those that have
Clear track. Come.
feedback, but also kind of those more updated steering wheels. The where force feedback is even more aggressive than what some of the maybe the cheaper wheels are. Certainly not a comfortable feeling to have for yourself, but this field has started to drift away quickly. Here's your drivers, your race report. So far, this is our 4th caution of the day. We've had plenty of lead changes as well, which I think partly expected, but the way that the first 20 laps of this race went, I think we could have seen that.
So I said you're going to restart P12. Now you're going to restart P20. So you lost 8 spots.
A lot of new
You'll
faces.
be able to make those up in no time.
Second half of this race, anyone still.
The tires on this track they don't equalize like you might see at a lot of other places. So I think you're going to be really good.
Either you have 1 caution or you have 6 to 7. It's been the trend here at WSSR.
Yeah, that seems to really be the trend. We had a couple races with almost no cautions or 1, and now we've seen after Pocono in this race, maybe some of the tempers are boiling over each race. Right now, though, I'm wondering if drivers are going to be pitting. It looks like no one's really going to come in. We didn't run too many laps, but getting into the back half of this race, I mean, if you're in the back, you have to start thinking, do you go in, get some fuel, get some tires now, try and get off strategy? But not seeing anyone do that yet.
No, and I think the main reason why, like we talked about, the fuel kind of runs that these drivers gave us, it was around 31 to 33 laps was the fuel window we were given. So that means these drivers aiming for around that 68 to 67 lap 66 to 67 is going to be the window.
So don't forget, on that first lap going into 1 and 2, it's going to be a little free.
Last time we saw was during the warm-up time. This is now during the actual race temp, and not as much change.
I really needed to go green here. If another quick caution comes out and they all go in, I'm kind of screwed.
That progresses from it already being night till getting later into the evening.
Yeah, that's always the consistency helps. The nighttime temperatures help keep it a little.
I guess I could go in, like if it goes green for 10 laps and everybody comes in, I could come in and still have a set left in case there's a late caution. So it may not be too bad.
I don't think you're going to be bad at all because you're about to make up some spots here also.
Now up to 17th. Only ran about.
You've got 10 or 11 lap pressure tires.
But a driver that we'll have to keep an eye on. We know he had a lot of short run speed. He got fresher tires just because he pitted when others didn't. So it'll be really interesting to see if he's able to move up before pit stops happen again, which we expect to be around lap 6.
All right, Chris Norris is the leader. Ready? Ready?
Window for these drivers to open at that point, or you pit now, take some tires, and see what kind of you can gain with that extra rubber, as they still, for some, have 2 sets to work with in pit road, such as Brian McCann, Brady Colley taking an extra set. They still have 2 in pit road. The rest of the field have 3 sets in pit road to work with on tires. We're back to green flag action. Christopher Norris, Zach Hall going to be the front 2. Everyone else trying to figure out where do you place your machine to make sure you don't get caught up in the next wreck, but also you're moving forward.
Brian forward. Is he going to get a second to get around Zach Hall? Christopher Norris, though, he's not going to give anyone a chance to get around him. He's going to check out going down this back straightaway. But Zach Hall's able to stay in front of Brian Johnson coming out of turn 2 as they head into turn 3.
And remember, Brian B. Johnson, Zach Hall, teammates for the Carolina Reapers team. Their other teammate, then Shane Terrian, back to first position, caught up in that last incident, brought out a yellow. These drivers know, hey, if you can have a teammate, it's nice to have. Utilize the draft to work with one another. But at the same notion, this track is a lot more of how selfish can you be to get yourself in a position to move forward. Some aspect very small and critical, but it's always nice to have someone you can trust to give you a little bit of extra space if it's needed to move up, like Zach Hall just had with Brian B. Johnson.
Yeah, that's all these years. It's just nice. It's hard. Not everyone has spotters out there. Some of these drivers do, but for the most part, you can line up high racing spotters. But if you can have a teammate who says, "Hey, I'm going to make sure you're able to line this corner in front of me," clears you not side by side.
All right, clear 77.
So it was great to see that happen on the restart there for Zach Hall and Brian Johnson. But I tell you what, we're getting close to being under 40 to go. When it gets down towards the end, those drivers are going to want both wins, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that.
Hold your line.
Johnson just pushing Zach Hall, trying to give him all the speed he can and get closer to Chris Norris.
I got into the wall. I thought we were 3 wide.
No, you weren't a 3 wide, but he didn't give you a whole lot of room either.
Clean push on the straightaways, and the front stretch, not a safe place to be, as there's a lot of wiggling going on in the middle of the field as Brian McCann in 17th place gets into the outside wall, gets to turn 2. Starting to see some new faces prep their way forward, just climbing inside of our top 15. It's the 7 of Douglas Newbiging, the last driver to win at this racetrack last season. And currently mired back in that 14th place. He's been having a slow march up moving forward into the 7. He currently is not in the most comfortable position, kind of stuck in the hornet's nest, trying his best to move forward. One of the other big movers, Anthony Gaudio on the 29 machine, trying to make his best moves, but they are still not letting each other breathe from around 7 back to 15.
Yeah, that's still.
Looks like track position still king.
We're in that.
Yeah.
15th, and if you could just get around 7 cars in one corner, you'd be right up there.
Clear up. Oh wait, hold on, he blinked out.
Getting around him is the hardest part. But I tell you what, Zach Hall, he's trying to get around the leader up front. He's getting closer to him after that nice restart Chris Norris had. Zach Hall's going to be trying to make moves here.
Zach Hall is
clear up.
Teaching Christopher Norris for the last year and a half, trying to help the 38 develop as a driver. And at this moment, doesn't want to give Christopher Norris that win just yet this season. But Norris has always been, one of those better stories to talk about, how we've seen a driver evolve from being a driver known to bring out cautions, about 3 cautions per race, to someone that's now challenging for a win here tonight. And there's other drivers that we've seen immediately from us covering them here on Free Fast Broadcast that know it can't be quick. Those being Ken Campbell, that's leading the drivers from Fort Compact.
Yeah, one
Ken Campbell's having a really nice night tonight. He showed last week at Pocono
Good runner.
Carried it over to tonight. You mentioned Christopher Norris, one of those drivers that really improved, and that's something that the league and drivers as a whole, they notice. They get excited for him. They're happy to see him up there. It's always great to be able to help get drivers faster, improve. It also makes for racing better, like you said. If he was bringing out cautions, now he's not. Now he's a driver who's challenging for wins week in and week out. And right now, Zach Paul, he's starting to think, did I teach this guy too much that I can't get around him?
I mean, it wouldn't be the first driver that they felt that same way. But currently, the chaos still mounting from 5th, 6th on back. Isaiah Sutherland, again, it was one of the drivers that was on the outside being pitched heavily, allowed to really get a lot of spacing to work with.
Long conga line.
Trying to put the pitch on the outer groove, and is 14, just doesn't have any drafting help on the straightaways, and that's really what's hurting Sutherland right now, but continues to play a little bit of chicken with these drivers entering these corners.
I'm faster. It's just this top side is so dominant.
Close they are.
Yeah, running that bottom though.
Yeah, he really is. That and you're in the dirty air of this guy, and occasionally he blinks out, so you got to check up so you don't run him over.
Now, as he's just stuck down on the bottom, they're all kind of ganged up on the top. Larry Union now going to get around him, but he's one of those drivers that has speed. We saw him make the moves. It's just all these guys have speed. It's just who's able to come out of the pits and get all these positions back. That's the problem. Ali Fonseca was one of the leaders earlier, and now he's back in 12th position with some bad pit stops. He's the driver still waiting to get back.
And we also saw there was a gang of cars behind this group, and that is drivers around 12th, 13th position. Those being Ali Fonseca, Jason Tamer, and then it kind of looks like a Christmas tree. But you go back 3 wide, 4 wide at moments, but it's Ali Fonseca trying to hold back the fit pack for himself to stay inside our top 15. Jason Tamer, who we've seen only once this season, was back in Texas, didn't have the best showing in the world, but the 81 is having to be back out there on track, and he's running around with drivers that, for some, having their best run this season. Others are on heroic rebounding after some mishaps earlier tonight, as the 29, the 7, make their way forward and continue to look like a hornet's nest, just waiting and pending for whenever the yellow is going to come from this group.
Yeah, you're seeing these guys try to make all these moves for everywhere. Anthony Gaudio to drop it down to the bottom. He's trying to make these moves. And Cody Reed, we mentioned him, maybe has a little bit better tires. He's trying to come back up the field after his self-spin. He's running all the way up against the wall, but Anthony Gaudio is going to try and go up there to block him, but not going to be able to do it. It looks like Cody Reed's going to get to his outside. Potentially, no. Anthony Gaudio is going to shut the door as we see it blink out of the 52.
And that's been the issue all night long. A lot of drivers have been queuing up to go to your Reed saying, hey, you're blinking really bad here tonight. It's starting off in the first 15 laps of the race. It went away where he was having stable internet about halfway through this run, but it is crept back. Cody Reed, in the thick of things, that is the worst time we having, like, your internet is going away. Maybe iRacing has some issues for the 15.
There you go. This time you can't run. Just hold your line.
That can continue forward, but stuck in the middle of this group are drivers that
good job.
4 sets of tires under our most recent yellow. That being the 8 machine, the Brian McCann, and the 1 of Brandon Colley, and they're stuck on the outside trying to move forward, but it is still a madhouse back here, practically racing for what it feels like last place. But it's the end of this lead pack.
Good job.
Wow, you can see Brian McCann.
All right, but you're right back where you were before you pit.
Looks like he was carrying an extra 20 feet getting in the corner, but look how close.
Everybody in front of you was in on lap 44.
Brian McCann wants to get away from all these cars with those tires that you mentioned. He's going to pull down the straightaway, get some draft, and look to make another pass going into turn 1 and 2.
Attack.
Leaned down a little bit too much there.
Watching this madhouse, the battle for the lead has now transferred over to second.
Yeah, well, that 52 is holding you up.
Second place under fire from Ryan B. Johnson. And doing their best to get by the 38 machine is Zach.
Now you've got gap to run your pace, to run your line.
Johnson, those two have been really a dynamic duo this season.
Coming to lap 69, so 31 to go.
Front, but again, with the stabilization up front, we have to fall back to 15th and 16th position because that Hornet's Nest is still ramping up. They're 3 wide, 2 rows deep. They just won't let it go away here, Justin. They're just waiting for a mistake and almost there.
Need a few more spots and then the caution to come out.
Down in turn number 1.
They're just everywhere. We see James Taylor going around Anthony Gaudio on the outside. is going to make so close. You see the action right there. He wasn't able to do it, but thank God, because that could have been a potential accident like we saw earlier in the run where guys aren't able to clear coming out of the corner and they kind of just slide up. But look,
still getting a great run off.
Brandon Colley trying to make a nice rebound, but he could get by 4 or 5 cars in front of here. He's going to make me right back to the top 10 potentially.
They continue to battle back and forth.
Going to be a little bit of dirty air.
Go back and forth with the block.
Work your throttle.
Lane. Sometimes it works out, other times it doesn't. But they're starting to calm down a little bit more, and I think that's shown in the signs. The tires are starting to fade away a little bit, every little bit, as these laps tick away. I've been watching some of the drivers that have been advancing forward. There
you go. Find a line a little bit lower than them.
Fast 8 was running there. Again, decided to take tires under that last stop. It's moved up to 11th, and right now on the tail end of this lead pack in there.
You're faster than everybody around you 4 of the last 5 laps. You're running them down.
As we just hit the 30 laps to go marker.
Yes, great point. You see guys coming in right now. Looks like Ryan Kelly peeled off back there. Some other cars right at the tail end going down pit road. Driver
31 down low. You're going to have the run off.
And you're going to gain a lot of time out there, especially not having to race anyone. If you're out on that clean track, that can be really nice. It's something we're going to keep an eye on. But Brian McCann, he might be one of the drivers in the seat right now. He's got the fresh tires. He's probably going to stay out the longest. If we do get a caution, he's able to trap a lot of the cars down a lap. That could be a game changer for his night.
It certainly could be a game changer, and we're going to get our eyes on this 8. The lane that he's been preferring has been the outside, and you're seeing in front of him, all the lead drivers are running that outside groove, almost identical to where the 8's been as he's been climbing through this pack. So not the safest position, but we're going to have to try something different for Brian McCann. You got that fresh rubber and test out the inside row. See if there's any little bit of extra grip find down there, but as well have to be careful of the drivers that just came off a pit road from their pit stops. They're going to be just as quick, and they're going to have to use that inside row.
Yeah, we see Brian Kelly coming out of the pits, but what happened on a lap down? So the gamble is
coming up on when we need to pit.
If these leaders don't pit and you're trapped a lap down, that does not mean caution comes out your race.
A couple have already gone down pit road.
Do everything he can to get up there and try and unlap himself, because these guys could stay out for another 10 to 12 laps potentially.
Trying their best. Where do you place yourself moving forward? As more drivers have made their pit stops, Ryan Kelly in the green machine. Interesting call for himself. This is trying to get by this front pack. Looks like for Kelly, 2 tires for his stop. That's a gutsy call. Came in full fuel, just 2 tires. I don't know how I feel about that call, but Justin, that's a very interesting one that you're trying to cut on time as well, hoping that track position will get to the 3 machine.
Yeah, he saved about 7 seconds in the pit stop by taking just right side tires, but I don't know, with 30 laps to go, I think 4 tires are getting gained back 7 seconds just by having that speed. But we're going to find out. It's something we mentioned. We bring it up. We'll watch. We'll take note. We'll see how it goes. But right now, he's flying out there with just 2 tires, and I can't wait to see a driver.
That might be what you got to do, Brian. Try that middle line.
Or if a caution does come out.
Oh, they broke up here a little bit.
Ryan Kelly can take us if he gets himself in front.
Yeah, they're pitting. I'm going to have to pit this lap.
The hard way.
Yeah.
He'll make sure if caution flag comes out, he doesn't.
You are?
Line with that lucky dog award.
Yeah, I can't be too much off of them.
Starting to hear a lot more chatter. Pit stops underway.
I'm getting held up here.
All right.
Okay.
Johnson.
All right, I'll set you up.
The drivers over up front. That was your second place runner who decides to hit pit road.
We will keep a note on that. We'll be one of the first leaders to hit pit road, so we'll have to see, will he be able to get the lead, or will these other drivers who pitted even earlier?
All right. You are all set. If you made any adjustments to your brake bias, don't forget to go ahead and change them back.
Still up front, and
it's all on you.
He's got a second over Nick Crawford. Crawford having a little bit of a war that he's trying to hold back with Bryce Dixon. Bob, it looks like pit stops for drivers are really slow, and there's Zach Hall making his showing to pit road, and many of others behind. See the 32 able to hit his pit entry as these drivers slowing down. They're going about almost 165 through the corners. Slow down to just in near 55 at pit entry. And also, when you're coming into pit road, you got to make sure that you don't run into one another. If you've got different pit stalls than the drivers you're around, don't want to be making unnecessary contact with one another, as Zach Hall and the rest of this group that just pitted all look to be clean stops. No one overshooting their box, which is very critical. Cannot make a mistake
now. All right, that's it. Go.
No mistakes
Right.
now.
Come on.
Getting on the pit road. It is so hard. These drivers are so talented, they make it look easy. But trying to get the car slowed down and to turn left when it has old tires, old hot tires on this worn out surface that has zero grip, the car just doesn't want to turn. It's kind of like Darlington, such a hard pit entry there. Very hard to get into this pit entry also. Something that definitely these drivers are not going to want to make any mistakes though. But the 74 car looks like he beat the leader of the previous leader coming out of the pits, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Once again, we are seeing drivers making mistakes and just having slow stops that are costing them time and positions, as Nick Crawford will be out, back out on track, but not the lead driver of those that have already made their stop. That will actually be gifted to Ryan Kelly, still ahead over Shane Terrian. Terrian pitted a lap after this 3 machine. A little bit of mix-up on where the drivers were lined up, but through this pit cycle, it looks to be Ryan Kelly going with the two-tire stop, giving himself a 5-second buffer over the driver behind him that continues to keep himself in a great position to move forward. It's Cody Reed, going to be the lead driver currently, still needing to pit this time, over the radio saying he will pit. Brandon Colley still out on track, same for Joshua Corner. Both of those drivers can stay out for another 10 more laps to another 7 laps as they pitted under our last yellow, but Cody Reed expected to hit pit road, same for the likes of Larry Yingling, as he's actually going to be entering and leaving his box here shortly.
And taking the lead back is our driver with the first incident of the night, Brandon Colley. We do not want to bring the commentator's curse up, but we're so excited that he was able to get back up here. He's done a great night, having a great night after that damage, fixing, getting the car fixed, getting everything nice and neat. Look, the car looks clean out there. But right now, if a caution was to come out and he's able to stay out maybe, say, 3 or 4 more laps, these guys will probably go in and use another set of tires, so he might actually stay the leader if he's able to go another 3 or 4 more laps.
Yeah, he could be someone to watch out for here. So we're waiting for the one to hit his box. Same for Joshua Corner and Cameron Sark. Those 4 last drivers to hit their box. We get this time for one last shout out of our sponsors before we set it off to a commercial break. So I want to give a big thank you to Colley's mom for being a qualifying sponsor for the WSSR Roasted Gems Cup Series and to our title sponsor for Roasted Gems Coffee. Go check out some of their popular blends such as French Vanilla and as well Cinnabon, and explore their other wide range of high-quality blends at roastedgems.com. Great quality you need to try out. Elevate your coffee experience with Roasted Gems Coffee today. And remember to use the promo code WSSR for 5% off. And
Caution's out.
We talked about how great the wall smack is for these drivers. Well, for some, maybe you'd like to find yourself a championship trophy, belt, ring, or more. Well, we'll talk about them after that, because we got ourselves a caution flag, and this changes everything.
Brandon Colley, he stayed out. I bet you everyone's going to go in and take tires.
Okay, so Brandon Colley and Joshua Corner, they're going to go down pit road right now, right along with Cameron Sarton.
He's sitting in a good seat to maybe get.
Everybody else was in on lap 70 or later.
Trying to see what this yellow.
Please just to amaze me. We absolutely just.
I am. We're just trying to figure it out. The bizarre timing for these drivers as the 22 gets ran over by Cody Reed.
Hey Ray, thanks for the like.
For Joshua Corner,
how's it going?
Again, was out there on extremely old tires, and for Cody Reed, shocking. I don't think he was expecting the 22 to be that slow. And contact made for themselves. And as you rewatch this, it just looks like for Cody Reed, he was running his own lane, and the 22 drops right in front of him. And Cody was trying his best to get around, but there just wasn't enough spacing. And I think that was just a little bit, maybe a lapse of self-awareness on where to place your car, and not giving Cody Reed maybe enough time to react there.
No, one of those incidents, maybe fresh tires versus old tires, different closing rates. But right now, under 19 to go, we're probably going to get a restart here with 17 to go. I would expect these guys to go in and get tires. I can't see anyone staying out, but they might prove me wrong. We saw Ryan Kelly only take 2. I think.
Yeah, we're staying out. I only got 1 more set, so I want to save it in case the late caution comes out.
Behind him on this restart.
No, and for
right.
Joshua Corner. I mean, Corner, we ended up being involved in that wreck, but able to keep his second place position. The 22, even with the
Oh, quite a few went in.
up in a good spot here as drivers hit.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that.
The drive.
See, I think most people who went in have 2 tires
It's
left.
going to be less than 20 laps to go. We already kind of got
I'm getting track position right here.
halfway marker of how chaotic these drivers can be.
A lot of it.
It's going to be ramped up to 11 now.
It's going to push up to P3.
Yeah, I'm curious if anyone was watching Ryan Kelly take 2. Do you think anyone will take 2 under here? Especially
Ryan Kelly's on 5 lap worse tires than I am.
back in 10th position, maybe going to try and do it, get the lead.
Yep.
But it'll be really interesting.
Are they?
I think Ryan Kelly.
Both you and Bryson, lap 75, 76 behind you. Larry Yingling
He decided
on 77, and Jason Tamer also 76.
deciding to stay out
From Brandon Colley on back is lap 82.
in total.
I mean,
Ryan
it's in the
Kelly,
nicest way
Bryson
possible, but if you win this race, I will eat
Brian
my hat.
McCann, Larry Yingling, and Jason
crabbing it
Tamer
down the back.
deciding to stay out. Ryan Kelly with the oldest tires in the driver that took 2 tires. He's the one who's probably in the most shocking scenario of deciding to stay out.
I truly am shocked. If I had to bet money on that, I would think he would have definitely come in and get 4 tires. I don't know if he feels like the car feels great. Maybe he feels better on 2, but I still would want 4 on this restart. We saw how some drivers are just able to charge into the corners on these restarts. He might not be able to do that on these older rubber, but he will have a buffer. He'll have about 5 cars between them, but that could get eaten up really quick, especially with how wide this track is.
Well, it does also seem that some drivers are going to go with the same mentality of Ryan Kelly. 2 tires was the mentality for 4 that decided to come into pit road, being led by Brian P. Johnson in 7th place. 4 tires. That of 2 tires goes to the 27. Nick Crawford in 8th.
Every time on the inside.
In 9th, taking 2 tires, and Christopher Norris also in 10th.
Inside hero.
Just take 2 tires under this stop. 1 for track position, and 2. Maybe feeling like they need to loosen up this vehicle.
Somebody took 2 tires, I heard on the broadcast.
You can get a check
Yeah.
on Brandon Colley. Was he able to get 4?
2 people in front of me just dropped out.
Big lead built up that by the time the other cars caught up to him, he was already in.
What?
So I think he was able to go in.
The guy in front of me just
Yeah, they
disconnected.
did. Bryson Hickson dropped due to packet loss.
4 tires.
Oh,
plus he's ahead.
That sucks.
My goodness. Just
2 people.
was not expected. Was one of the 5 drivers that stayed out. Bryson Hicksenbaugh dropping
Yep, and Nick Crawford.
packet loss. Internet strikes for the 63. And he will not be able to come back in time. Another driver getting knocked off. That's Nick Crawford. Oh no, a mass exodus of 2 drivers. Will there be a 3rd? Everyone's on pins and needles now in the lobby. They are getting very chatty and very nervous right now, Justin.
Wow, I am not.
All right, bud. You were saying track position, track position, track position. It doesn't get much better.
Bryson Hicksenbaugh trying to get into the top 25 in points. He has that win, but he needs to get in the top 25. But the 74, he had such great speed all night. I was really expecting him to contend for this win. But now we're going to be restarting this race with 2 less drivers.
2 less drivers. Also, Brandon Colley was able to take those 4 times.
All right, buddy.
Will now be
Here we go.
restarting in 6th place on this go. As Brian P. Johnson will be able to take
Go, go, go.
positioning over Bryson Hickson.
Clear up as soon as you get across the line.
Drama, it's all mounting up, and we have less than 20 laps to go here at Auto Club. Ryan Kelly with the oldest tires goes with the gutsy call. Outside lane is for the 3, and here we go with 17, making 16 laps to go. Everyone roars down into turn number 1.
16 laps to go, 42 seconds a lap is going to be great.
Caution's out.
These drivers are already fanning out. You're going to see these guys making all the moves they can. Right up there. They're sliding, they're spinning in the back.
That helps me.
Done for the night.
Huge contact for Ken Campbell and others that came in late.
I think that helps me. If we just keep doing cautions, I maintain second all the way to green, white, checkered.
Oh, James Gottman and others caught up in that incident late, just nowhere to go for themselves. And what was
The more we go green, the worse I am. So yeah, this right here is looking pretty good.
4 drivers involved. Tyler Dangler with required damage.
Yep, you'll go back green with about 12 to go.
As well, James Heater, who's already dealing with required damage.
And you know everybody back there is being aggressive, so that's why that yellow happened.
This race has turned into quite a few.
Absolutely.
Last.
Yeah, it looks like that was Ken Campbell and James Kaufman.
We're going to see right here what happened. These drivers on the restart get into the corner, they're going to fan out, and I think product of cold tires, trying to drive a little too hard, cold tires.
The big thing that you can take is for Nick Crawford, Bryson Hicksaball. They're trying to get back into the session, not able to, but the 15 spins. There's the yellow, and oh man, it looked like James Kaufman also was breaking loose, so he had zero way of controlling that 25, and the ricochet back. And Tyler Dangler and a few other drivers, they're late so violent at the end of that incident.
Yeah, if we're able to get back to that maybe in-car camera, it looked like some guys in front of Ken Campbell actually maybe got into each other. Maybe that caused him to have to drive a little bit different and cause a little bit of that accident. I think maybe let's see here if that might have been what happened. And maybe up there by Douglas Newbig in the 7.
I mean, Douglas was sending it in there. He was getting very aggressive and almost up to Christopher Norris. So
I think that Bryson guy is the one that's racing to get into points because he has a win, but he has to get up to a certain, like 25th place or something to be able to consider for the playoff.
Slid, and here's the violent hit
Gotcha.
of Kaufman.
So him disconnecting there, that screwed him.
Another car going semi-airborne there.
Dude, it's a fucking Sava, not the
I hate when that happens.
For the both of them.
Oh, those cars.
I've had it happen now. Last lap coming to the checkered for a win.
Earlier, he's still out there trying to get back in as he can, but
that one was rough.
Straight. Yeah, the 13's just been crab-legging his way around it and trying his best out there. As update for Nick Crawford and Bryson Hicksaball, both, again, right before we went green, both dropped out of the session with Packet Lawson. That could be a multitude of different reasons on why they dropped out, but they both have been trying to get back into the session, but every time they jump in, it knocks them back out of the session. So they're both very frustrated. It's the 74 and the 63. And this is probably very, if we don't see any other drivers miss races, this could be the end of Bryson Hicksaball's chance of taking that win that he got a few weeks ago to moving forward into the playoffs.
Yeah, we hate to see that for him.
Is he really taking the low side?
If he can make it into the playoffs, coming late into the league, but getting that win, unfortunately though,
I would gladly take the outside because that's where I'm staying this entire rest of the race.
Let's go back up front. Ryan Kelly though, he stayed out. We weren't sure if we liked that strategy, but now with that caution,
if they want to pass me, those new tires, they got to do it on the inside.
12 to go when we restart. If we get another caution, we'll be down to 8 to go. Will it give these guys who did get fresh tires enough time to get up through the field?
I mean, the first couple of drivers you got to watch out for. It's going to be
kind of like the paint job on that 3.
This will be Brian P.
The navy with the teal highlights.
They can easily, if they are able to run 2 to 3 green flag laps, they'll be back into this fight. But that's the big key: is can they get those green flag laps? Because we know, with how quick that yellow flag came out, it helps Ryan Kelly on those old tires, but everyone else that got fresh rubber, their tires are even colder now on this restart.
Yeah, we saw what happened with drivers getting loose on restarts. We saw it with the 15, we saw it with the 52 earlier in the night. Cold tires on this old worn out.
Got a little bit of a buffer back to the guys that came in on lap 82.
Pushing hard, but up front, Ryan Kelly's not going to have
Larry Yingling and Jason Turner, or Tamer,
they have nice max.
We're both in his 70s.
He's going to be a little bit warmer than everyone else's, and he's going to be able to fire off and get to the lead. And hopefully for him, he's hoping that maybe another quick caution, give him another chance to cool it off.
Hi, buddy. Let's go.
Ready to go. Green here, Brian Kelly. First and second.
Cars in.
Brian Kelly as well. That's going to be Brian.
You're even with him. Ready. Go.
McCann, he's finished second a couple of times here this season. He's gotten one win. For Ryan Kelly, he's gotten one win for himself. They want to join the class of Benjamin Nelson with 2 wins this season. Do they have the tires to hold on? Let's find out as we're back to green flag.
There you go.
Kelly with a great
way to keep the 67 down.
Larry Yingling right behind him. Last week's winner. And for Larry Yingling,
81 coming up to help you. 3's going to try to help the 67.
Now it's in our top 5.
Larry Yingling looking to do what he did last week in Pocono, win. But is he going to be able to? He's down on that inside, but Ryan Kelly's going to go down to try and give some draft to him.
81 inside, 3 wide.
Everything he can to push Brian McCann down that straightaway.
81 still there. He's on you tight, on your left rear. Hold your line.
Under Brian McCann are going to go 3 wide coming out of corner. James Tamer, he has the speed right now. What's he going to do getting into turn 1?
Jason Tamer going to be the driver to watch out for, the 81.
28 coming up on you.
And open.
81 doesn't have anybody.
Oh, back in 39th. That was back in Texas early in the season. And now the 81 on the inside row. He's got fresher tires than the 3, and now on nose ahead over Ryan.
28's going to stay right with you.
But as well, waiting in the wings, it's the 28 of Brian P. Johnson. Christopher Norris, the fresher tires, ripped the top, and that's exactly where they want to be placed. Brian McCann's nose is blocking them off. They cannot continue forward. Instead, it's the side-by-side battle for the lead. Zach Hall to the apron. The 32 does not want to be stopped.
Zach Hall wants that.
28 looking inside, 3 wide.
He wants to come Brian Johnson up on the top lane, though. Like you said, he's got cars blocking on that outside. So Zach Hall's going to go to the inside. James Chambers looks like he's going to clear Brian Kelly coming out of the lead, but Zach Hall, he's a man on the mission. And Brian Kelly gets sideways, gets some touching in the back there. Looks like Brian McMahon got it into the back bumper. This race is getting crazy going into turn 3.
Yeah, look,
3 wide.
Where do you want to place yourself? There's 6 different lanes utilized there all the way through turn.
That 3 held you up.
4, though, they squeeze down. The 3 wide. Others making contact. Hey, gonna get into Sherwood Jr. They hold on for now, and more drivers blinking out. John Forbes is now gonna be the next victim of losing connection. These drivers now know it's not just a race to get to the end of this night, but maybe a race to stay in the server.
P6.
Now 3 drivers officially knocked out with Packet.
9 to go.
Will be long.
Coming 8.
The race is done, but up front, it's Jason Tamer still leading as he's having some trouble. Sherwood Jr. And as well as Shane Terry. Oh, wow. Contact as they go down to 3.
Still there.
Brian Johnson.
Ed, you're inside. Good thing Uncle Netcode didn't take a flight to Cali because this has been bad.
Close the door. He's able to. Brian Johnson going to.
Norris needs to
down to the inside.
Stop wiggling his car.
This is going to be a battle. This is Brian Johnson going to be able to clear him. He's not going to be able to.
As I wiggle mine.
He's going to have to do it.
Come on. Don't pull in.
Yeah, well, that.
Brian Johnson to the lead.
Brian Johnson making the pass cleanly. The season 1 champ.
Come on, Ed. Go.
Brian Kelly, though, big loss, losing over 8 positions off of a bad exit further in the field. But up front, it's still Jason Tamer not giving up. The difference is 6 laps on tires, but really, it's more closer to a difference of 3 laps of green flag racing between this group of up front top 3. But it is a battle between 2 tires versus 4. Is it the 4 older tires of Tamer, or will it be the 2-tire call from Zach Hall and Brian P. Johnson? Larry Engling fighting still on older rubber as well in the 67. It's just the duel back and forth. Who's going to be willing to fight for a huge slide job move to make some of these major passes as the teammates Zach Hall, Brian P. Johnson continue to fight up front?
Teammates are doing what they need to. They're utilizing the draft to get around the 81. The 81 stuck down on that bottom, not able to come out of the corner. He's actually going to be under pressure here from the 67, Larry Engling. So right now, it's Zach Hall in second place, though. Brian Johnson, how's he going to get around him? Larry Engling's coming. He's not.
31's with you. No help to the 9 underneath.
Win 2 races in a row.
Still there.
Advancing forward is Yingling, but for how much further? It's Christopher Norris put pressure on the back end of the 67. And teammate of Brian P. Johnson and Zach Hall, Shane Terrian into the mix. Our top 7 are majority of drivers that have advanced forward from their qualifying position as they continue to fight forward. The only driver
Caution's out.
qualify outside of our top 10 that's inside of our top 6 is Brian P. Johnson, who qualified 8th. These front runners are all drivers that have had to fight, defend, and hold on.
Gonna be green-white checker.
Reset. That's trouble. Ollie Fonseca, Cody Reed make some contact with one another.
Wow.
Tires were all right at the beginning, but then about 4 or 5 laps in, they really started to shine.
It's going to be another crazy restart here, but we're going to find out what happened on this caution.
And I got to start on the inside.
They're going to be Brandon Colley and Cody Reed making contact with one another off the exit of turn 4. Slight contact with Ollie Fonseca, but watch out for the 52. Throwing it down low was all the way at that inside seam, and then he just climbs up to the wall. Not clear, and gets clipped by Holly, who just had the better run and drives right through the 52.
Yeah, the 52, he was able to go up, but doesn't have that momentum coming out of the corner. Brandon Colley just has so much momentum, and the 52 just pretty much pulls right in front of him. You can't expect the one to lift right there. If the one lifts, he's going to lose all his spots, and he was entitled to that position. So that's one of those racing incidents. But these drivers up front, I can't see anyone pitting right now with only going to be about 3 laps to go. I don't see the top 10 pitting. Maybe someone in the back might.
Yeah, I mean, maybe someone who's 15th on back, they might think about hitting pit road. And although 15th, it's actually going to be 13th. Douglas Newbegin, who's going to hit pit road, and then everyone for 15th on back. It's that stopping position. I'm not surprised by that. I mean, most of these drivers still have one set to work with within pit road. Might as well take it. You have a chance. Majority of the drivers ahead of you have 20-lap-old tires. You're going to have some type of advantage to work with if you can get a good run. So why not go out and tackle and take some of these spots away?
Yeah, if you're able to get a great restart and get 4 or 5 cars, and maybe we get another caution, another green light checkered, before you know it, maybe you get up to 10th, then 5th, and you know what? If you have the 4 tires and you get a 3rd green light checkered attempt, you might be right there. But getting back to this restart, Brian Johnson, Zach Hall, they're going to be 1-2. Who's going to...
I've been everywhere on this track, second all the way to about last, probably.
Larry Yingling on the inside and Chris
Yeah,
on the outside.
yeah. Pretty close.
It's
second and 19th, I think.
How are these drivers up front? Who are your teammates? Can you count down if you're the top 2, Brian P. Johnson and Zach Hall? Because they're teammates, they might try to cycle and make this run work for themselves on this attempt. Or could we see someone else maybe try a gutsy call? Also, do have an update on the Nick Crawford, Bryson Ixenbaugh, and John Forbes issue. It looks like all drivers that were connected through the West Coast servers on iRacing, they were all the ones that got knocked off. So that is highly unfortunate for those drivers. I know Nick Crawford has been trying ever since he got knocked off to get back into the session, and it just is not possible for those drivers. You really hate to see that happen for drivers that, for some, were in such a critical moment, and they just
now my hope is what happened?
The capability to even come back and fight for these better points.
No, the 3 that got knocked off were all connected through the West Coast servers on iRacing.
It's going to be an exciting finish, and I can't wait to call it with you.
Makes sense they were all similar locations because they all dropped immediately at the same time.
That are in the SoCal and those in the southern.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
That are really being hit currently.
I guess my only hope right here is big wreck in front of me and I dodge it all.
Hopefully I don't come to curse myself. We'll see.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
which could happen the way they were racing.
Again, we're still side by side with the lap, with basically lights off, giving us the 1 to go marker. We are going to be inside of a regulation green, white, checkered. So when we go green, if we get a yellow flag on this first lap, the race will go into overtime. But if we get the white flag, this race becomes official, and it's all about who crosses the line first and who could be joining the likes of Benjamin Nelson with 2 wins. Or could we find it ourselves with another new winner? Could we find our 9th different winner this season? Or will we find someone joining the 2-time winning column for season 8? It's time to go racing here.
Tire spin might be a thing.
All right, Pace Car's going to go ahead and pull off.
The Gems Cup Series here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's been a pleasure. My name is Sam Dyer. With me was Justin Malarkey and Robert.
Are you ready? Ready? Go.
First attempt at a green-white checkered.
That wasn't too bad.
In overtime, let's find out. Into the restart zone. The teammates of Brian P. Johnson, Zach Hall, onto the lap pedal.
You're clear up.
Scattering deeper in the field as they're trying to jostle their way forward. But it's going to be Johnson with the lead, bowling down into turn number 1.
Pulls down the middle of the draft, help the Zach Hall. Christopher Norris.
Caution's out.
That outside line, he's going to maybe come out here in second position if he's able to get along Zach Hall. As we have a spin in the back, the 24 car. Oh, we got
it's a big one.
What the fuck are you
Calling
doing?
in others, piling in late. And there's over 5, almost 6 drivers piling into this one.
I mean, I was there.
Drivers again recognizing it's go time.
It's actually 4 white-green checkers that we could get here.
Like issues with Collie running into another.
Yeah, that was a natural one. Now there's 3 more.
Getting a little bit too aggressive.
Cut low and
yeah, we're going to see right here in the replay what happened. But multiple cars involved, big damage on a lot of these cars in this field. Right here, we're going to see, it looks like right in front, maybe those the 7 and the 24 get a little contact, and then Collie's right there with them, and before you know it, 5, 6, 7 cars involved.
Yeah, the pace that they were going, there's just no way to slow down.
And that's somehow my fault.
Don't like slow down. but Ollie gets into
So if you go down pit road, it looks like you would come out about 14th. And Cameron Sarton, he's all kind of damaged up. Ben Kinney, he's got some damage as well. Doug Newbigging is 3 spots behind you.
And Justin, no surprise, I think with the way we've been seeing these drivers,
I don't think it's worth it.
overtime was a no to be happening here this evening.
Yes, it seems that way with those restarts. Not going to be ideal for those guys in the back, but these guys are front. They probably are getting their nerves are building each restart, knowing that these cars are just going 3, 4, 5 wide. They're not really giving anyone any room coming out of the corners, but we saw in the beginning the 2 leaders getting involved in the first 2 cautions, and then now it kind of turned into the middle of the pack being involved in all these accidents. But these 2 leaders up front being teammates, I think they're going to make sure to give each other enough room. But Christopher Norris, he's going to be on that inside lane, so we're going to have to watch out what the pupil is able to do with the teacher up there at Zach Hall.
Your boy Ed might get up there and take care of everything for me.
Junior driver, that's one of the biggest movers.
That's a possibility. He's sitting P4 right now.
This season, and look pretty comfortable.
Might just clear the aisles and let me go straight on through.
There you go.
Lost and now runs to points. This 71. If he gets into victory lane with being 20th in points, that automatically locks him into the playoffs and will bump that cut line a little bit deeper into our top 16. Which
his gamer tag back on Xbox was King Outbreak.
You see some of these other drivers that are outside looking in. If they can get into victory lane, it can really shake up everything here this evening.
Yeah, this race really is one of those races that is shaking up the points because there's been so much drama, so many accidents, and then a few unfortunate incidents with drivers having to disconnect, unfortunately.
Tyler has announced he's driving a toaster.
I want to talk about he's down on that apron. Tyler Heath last week was one of my picks to maybe win. He was showing really good speed at Pocono, wasn't able to get the win, but is he going to be able to do it tonight? He's going to be restarting 6th. He's down there on that apron right now, maybe just cooling the tires. Not sure what else he would be doing, but I am going to talk about him, so I'm hoping he's going to get a nice restart.
Actually, right here, I'm racing Ryan Kelly, and he's way back in points, so this will help me a little bit.
A few weeks ago, found himself getting a 5th place finish, which is one.
Zach's going to hurt me. Zach's right around me. Johnson already has a win, I think.
If possible.
Yingling is right around me somewhere.
What is Jason Tate? Yeah. In the 81.
Yeah, Yingling is sitting in P5 right now.
Risk and a gamble of
I'm talking about season points.
Oh, got you.
In 8th place. What shakeups will we find up there?
I think Ryan
majority of the drivers
was either first or second.
Find
Ryan Kelly.
Where they're on older tires. The one with the freshest rubber would be the 7 of Douglas Newbigging.
I'm somewhere in the top 5. Might have been 3rd.
For this run, I think that's going to be another critical question as we get ready for our first attempt at overtime. These drivers are going to be having 2 laps to go, and we go green. If we get a caution under our first attempt here, we will go straight into a caution flag. Then if we get a caution flag, on this first lap, we then will go into attempt number 2. But if we get the white flag, this race becomes official, and the drivers will race it out to see who will win this race. Will we need another attempt, or do we just need one? The field is set up. They're ready to roll. And so are we.
I'm going to jump up with the leader, Brian Johnson. He's on the outside line.
And second row.
Ready.
The third, we'll find out with Larry Yingling.
Ready.
That's the pace car about to pull off. 10
go.
Of the season. Will we see someone grab their 2nd win of the season, or will we have our 9th different winner? Here we go into the restart zone. Our first attempt at overtime is underway. A little bit of a jostle, a hiccup on the inside row, and it's all Brian P. Johnson and now Edward Schur Jr. your front 2.
77 outside right rear.
Back looks like one single car incident back there, but it does not matter. We're staying green. Ed Jr. going to go right to the outside immediately, waste no time. Going to try and get around Brian P. Johnson on this outside. Not going to be able to do it, but he is going to have the drafting help down this straightaway. He's going to try and power down and make another move going in.
You are clear high.
They try to attack up front, but it's going to be your top 5 in line. Troublesome position for Campbell and Mulligan second. Those were the 2 drivers that spun out. But under this overtime,
should have went high.
To see that white
I thought I got 4 slow there.
3 wide.
Heath with a huge run. Side by side for second.
77 in the middle. 38 way up by the wall. 77 on your right rear, on your tight.
Johnson, but here comes Edward Jr.
Still there. 3 wide again.
Jr. as the 71 needs a win. Kyle Heath wants a win as they come off turn number 2.
Well, he's going to be on the inside, not going to have the draft to help those three.
77 still outside, right in the next lane up.
It looks like he's maybe going to...
They're wrecking in the front. Go low, go low, go low, go low, go low, go low. Good job.
He's going to be able to try and hold off Ed Jr. on the outside, but
look at this. Look at this.
That's a pass in the grass.
P4.
Monster of the piles.
Great job, drivers.
Make it through the mayhem, and Brian P. Johnson will get his second.
Almost a podium. Woo.
Good job, sir.
He's got a chance to
Thank
finish in the top 3, but not going to.
What a finish.
On points. But Brian P. Johnson, Douglas Newbing, and those new tires coming back in a second. Anthony Gaudio ran out the top 3.
It was just
I got to go back and watch that, but there was the yellow cone that I can't hit and a driver, and I had to thread a needle.
And it was pandemonium off the exit of turn 4. Only 3 drivers solidified through the mayhem. That was Brian P. Johnson, who was ahead of the wreck. Then Douglas Newbig and Anthony Gaudio. And Brian P. Johnson, that of Brian and McCann were the 3 that survived the wreck off of 4. There's only a handful of drivers that are still trying to cross the line after that wreck.
That was a big wreck, wasn't it?
Ian Johnson in the 28 gets that.
Yeah, it was.
Burning it down here at Auto Club. Congratulations to that 28 team. One attempted overtime. A wreck happens behind him. He'll take the victory.
Hell of a
Gets to have his
dodge.
Step away. When we come back, we'll talk to our top 3 and maybe a spotlight driver. Get their thoughts on a crazy weekend night here at Auto Club.
No matter what the fuck I do, man. I get caught up in everybody's shit.
So
Good win, Brian. Yeah, thanks. It's just there's a lot of finishes that could have been had that were.
I saw that and I was like,
I saw 31 just slid all the way through,
pulling off moves and everything, but
I saw the 71 right here, and I thought maybe he's going to go down low, so I was kind of thinking about shooting up the middle there, and I know I had like 3 cars on my right, so I was like, that's a bad choice. And then as soon as I saw the 71 lock his brakes up, I was like, yep, I'm going low. And then that 67 comes flying down, and I'm like, where do I go? I've got my eye on this yellow cone. I'm like, that's as far as I can go. And that 67 just almost clips me here.
Hey, Isaiah, if you're still
almost.
I'm sorry for hitting you after the line. I couldn't even steer.
Yeah, that collected everybody on the outside.
I'm literally off the fucking gas. He's not clear. He literally slides up trying to self-clear.
Wow.
If he was any smarter, he would have just held the fucking bottom and we would have had a good finish. I was fine finishing second or third, but he wanted to do what he just did, and I had no other choice but to freaking let off the gas or either run his ass over. And I'm literally on my screen 50% fucking throttle in the middle of the corner because this dumbass doesn't know what he's doing.
Let's see what Ed's talking about.
Damn, Ed.
Yeah, the 81 didn't attempt to slow down at all. He just drove through it.
That 31 was racing. He went low.
I mean, he literally came across.
Steamrolled more. And then
he came across every single lane on the way up and tried to.
So thanks.
He tried to do something. I don't know.
It's fucking ridiculous that I get screwed out of these.
Yeah, I mean,
how many years ago was it? Was it Carl Edwards and Jimmy Johnson? They said, "Well, I tried a video game move."
Yeah, I'm going to blame that on the 31 there. I think Ed's actually right in this case.
Also, I'd like to point out that Brian McCann literally cut the tri-oval and went to the grass, so he shouldn't keep his position. So that's just me.
What?
JK. Excellent bait.
Point that out in the rule book. What? Half the field was in the grass. What is he talking about?
Eddie, he came up the track on you.
That's a legal move as far as iRacing goes.
That's a legal move, period. It's called, I mean, it's get going.
Oh, I'm just so glad I didn't get hooked there. If I got hooked, that would have been Do in car. Wow.
That's pretty good. That is absolutely really good. Yeah.
Well,
what a race!
What was it? Started third, dropped all the way back to like 20th or something, and turned up fourth at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Race number 10 at Auto Club.
These races are crazy.
Away Martinsville, and it gives us still chaos at the end, and it's going to be the season 1 champ and also our Daytona winner.
I'd give them a big old middle. Never mind. I'll shut up in case they watch.
Congratulations on the victory. It looked like pandemonium behind you, just utter chaos in your mirror. But how are you feeling coming away with the victory?
Oh, it was chaos behind the wheel for me there too. That was stressful. Just man, what a race! I had a little bit of everything. Some green flag runs, some multiple green white checker attempts. Racing was all right. It was it's nice to have a lot of lanes to be able to pull off some slide jobs. I'm sure you guys saw a bunch of those, and those were exciting. Man, it's a shame how that race ended right there. For me, it's great. I'm glad I got another win. It's
77 was on me pretty tight. He had plenty of room up there too.
Yeah.
Wins in a season, so
yep.
This is good. It's good for points. Had the rough past month. This is good for points for me. But it should have been a good team points night too. And
yeah, there was no way that 31 was going to do anything with that.
One of those cautions, when it was just me and him, if one of those cautions didn't come out, he was probably going to pass me and win that race. But it's just a shame that when the car is feeling pretty good in the track, and there's a lot.
He sent it though.
That people got to take every single move that
he did
think of, and
he absolutely sent it himself. He sent it beyond the ability of his tires.
Everybody else, but we'll move into next week. Got 2 more races before the playoffs.
He was like clear by a couple pieces of paper, but 71 ain't lifting there, and 71's got the run.
It's just it is points racing. That's what we got.
I mean, you can see he actually goes through the nose of the 71.
Justin, up here in the booth, you mentioned teammates.
Yeah.
You mentioned people making crazy moves out there. How nice was it to have Zach Hall up there at the end with you, starting alongside you, knowing that you didn't have to worry about him maybe running into you?
Oh, there are no words as to how much better that is. When
the speed difference,
but someone.
Wow.
Zach Hall.
If I was the 71, I probably would have done the same thing. I mean, what do you do there?
I can depend on us having a
you're not lifting
hard, clean race. And that's one thing we both, we don't have to say it, but we did say it. Those last couple of restarts is that it doesn't matter what happens, just as long as we don't wreck. Like, let's not waste time racing each other too hard. Doesn't matter. Let's not
all over the place.
Unfortunately, he got caught up in something and managed to squeak away. But there's no words as to how much better it makes me feel having to restart beside Zachary Hall at the end of a race.
I mean, Brian, still congratulations on this.
All right, man. I'm gonna shut it all down and hit the hay. I'll probably see you on Monday night for a little while.
Man,
all right, yeah, man, come on out.
You guys, of course,
take it easy.
Great show every week.
I do. Yep, talking a bit.
And for other leagues as well. It's great watching you guys, and shout out to everybody that tuned in. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. And then all the drivers here at this league and the admin team and our race control. Nothing is possible without every single person who is involved. Definitely got to thank Roasted Gems Coffee and of course Trophy Smack.
Where's the standings at?
They offer some great products for us.
Here we go.
You can check out those links in the description, or
Auto Club. They already been posted. Let's see what we got here.
Guys out, make some great stuff, and then yeah, that's pretty.
So.
Well, that will be your winner.
Yingling actually
give it to the 28 of
gained
Brian
on
Jensen.
us.
Congratulations,
That's
Brian,
weird.
on this victory. Enjoy it, and good luck next week at Nashville Superspeedway.
Thanks, sir.
As we go from victory lane, let's go down to second place, where driver is
okay, so the top four, I'm in fourth. The top four are separated by
chaos.
3 points.
A weird thing to see through your
So 365, 365, 364, 362. So I'm right there in it.
Pretty good, honestly. God, pretty good. I don't know. I kind of felt. I felt like
I'm not locked into the playoffs, but I'm sitting pretty good. I'm the lead driver of everybody who hasn't won a race. So
which I just found out isn't.
I'm sitting real good right now.
Maybe this is just a California thing for this league.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers who have won.
Yeah,
so I'll be 8.
I mean, I thought it was fun. Definitely wish it was during the day. A little bit
What
harder.
is it, top
drive.
16?
I feel like with this kind of nighttime, it's a little more full throttle, not as much on the driver. You know, not too many lines you could run. I mean, you saw the end of the race there. You know, I mean, everyone's right up the top, so it's kind of like, I don't know, but yeah, it was fun. Had a good time. Laughed a lot. So.
Douglas, congrats on finishing second.
Don't know where the rules are. There it is.
In the beginning of the race, I saw you had the EOL, so you had to start in the tail end of the field. And I know you had to do that once back at Vegas where we had no cautions and you drove up there. Tell us about that, because I was trying to find out exactly what happened to you.
Yeah, so what happened was, Kern County, I caused 4 cautions because I have an excuse at least, right? I wasn't like a maniac, you know, but I was in a hotel, like this really like a kind of decent hotel, and like
16 spots for the first go around.
Small little laptop, and I got my thing propped up on a thing, and I was like racing. My laptop could barely run iRacing at that point, so I caused about 4 cautions. 3 were self spins. 1 was actually killed I took someone out, I think. But that's what set me back, and since I'm at 4, I got 1 last week from.
So it goes 16, 11,
ran off the track and turned him,
and then 6.
Off his nose. That got me to 5. That got me the UL. So that's the story with that. But yeah, I mean, this race kind of knew it was gonna be a fuel run going into it, so I was like, okay, I'm starting on the back. That means I could save a little bit. So was on the save game. Was gonna be looking really good at the start there, but Kashi came out. Tried doing it again because we were like right in the borderline. I think it was 37 laps we could do, or 37 laps it was to the next stop, and I think I got to like 35, but I couldn't do any more. So I was like, you know what, gonna go full out. But by then the pack was 3 seconds out, so kind of scratched it. The cautions really saved me there towards like lap 50. That caution, like the halfway one, that really put me back into it, I guess.
So they have championship points.
It certainly did put you back into it. I know we've been talking to you a lot, Douglas.
Playoff
these
points.
races,
I haven't really read these rules.
Second. I never got third or first, but I guess this season just second place me. So
we're getting there, but we're getting
fastest lap gets 1 playoff point. So I got a playoff point last week.
Playoffs and being so consistently up front, even with the kind of, you could say, a bad day coming into tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest.
Top 5 drivers in the regular season standings will be awarded playoff points.
I got no idea.
So if I stay in 4th around that area, I'll get some more playoff points there.
My teammates were in points. It's like some of them are like kind of near the cut line, and some of them are really good. I'm like, I thought you guys. It's like, all right, I don't know what's going on. So I guess I missed something important at Indy, or I don't know. But yeah, I mean, there's.
So even though I haven't won a race,
you know what I mean, we had.
Still not doing too bad.
Problems for a couple of other guys that were trying to get on points. I think that the way the points are, I mean, it's just going to balance itself.
I'm going to go ahead and
I feel really comfortable. I mean,
go ahead and drop off
points. I could be like
later.
500, all I know, but I